Right now, somewhere in America, a retired man is sitting at his kitchen table staring at a rent notice. It just went up. Again. Third time in 2 years. He did everything right, worked 40 years, paid into Social Security, saved what he could, and now at 68, he's watching $1,500 a month disappear just to keep a roof over his head. In 10 years, that's $180,000 gone. Not to equity, not to ownership, gone. If that hits close to home, stay with me, because in this video, we're going to look at something that's been quietly gaining attention among retirees across the country. A home concept priced around $9,990 that runs on solar power, doesn't require a mortgage, and fits on a flatbed truck. We'll cover 3 things: what this Tesla tiny house concept actually is, whether the numbers make any real sense for someone living on a fixed income, and, this is the part most channels skip, the risks you absolutely need to understand before you get excited. One thing before we start. Tesla has not officially launched this product for sale. If anyone online is asking for a deposit or pre-order payment, walk away. This video is analysis, not a sales pitch. The man who sold every house he owned. In 2020, Elon Musk posted something that stopped a lot of people in their tracks. He announced he was selling almost everything he owned, and that included his houses. Not 1, not 2, 6 mansions in California, gone. The last one, a 16,000 square foot estate in Hillsborough, sold in 2021 for $37 million. The world's wealthiest man was technically homeless by choice. Most people laughed. The financial press called it a stunt. But if you've followed Musk long enough, you know he doesn't make announcements without a reason. When he said he wanted to own no house, he followed it up with something more specific. He believed the future of housing had to be cheaper, more flexible, and energy independent. That's not a random opinion. That's the founding philosophy of every company he's built. Here's the part that matters for you. Around the same time, a small startup called Boxable was building something called the Casita, a foldable, factory-built home that could be set up in under an hour. Full kitchen, full bathroom, real insulation, not a tent, not a camper, a home, for around $50,000. Musk quietly became one of their early customers. He lived in one near SpaceX's facility in Boca Chica, Texas. And that's when the idea started spreading. What if Tesla took this concept and scaled it the same way they scaled electric vehicles?
What the Tesla tiny house concept actually is. Let's be precise here, because a lot of channels blur the line between confirmed fact and speculation. What we're talking about is a concept based on leaked engineering discussions, patent filings, and Tesla's existing technology stack, not a product you can order today. But the concept is coherent, and it's built on 3 engineering principles that Tesla already has working hardware for. The first principle is energy independence. The roof of this home would integrate Tesla's solar tile system, not panels bolted on top, but tiles engineered into the roof structure itself. Each tile is smaller than your hand. Together, they generate an estimated 4 to 6 kilowatts per day under normal sunlight conditions. For a single person or a couple living in a 250 square foot space, that covers everything: refrigerator, lights, climate control, small appliances, and then some. What most people don't realize is how that surplus energy gets used. It flows directly into a Powerwall 3 battery mounted inside the home, a 13.5 kilowatt-hour storage unit. That means even after 2 full days of clouds, overcast skies, or a Pacific Northwest winter, you're still drawing power you generated yourself. No grid, no utility company, no bill arriving on the first of the month to ruin your morning coffee. For a man who spent his whole life paying someone else for electricity, that's not just convenient, that's a shift in power, literally. The second principle is factory-built construction. Traditional home building is slow, expensive, and inconsistent. Weather delays, material shortages, contractor markups, labor costs that compound every week. The tiny house concept bypasses all of that. Panels built from high-density concrete composite, aerospace-grade steel framing, and EPS foam insulation core are assembled in a controlled factory environment, the same precision manufacturing logic Tesla uses for vehicles. Every wall section, every junction, every electrical conduit is fitted to tolerances measured in millimeters, not inches. The result? A structure that can be shipped in a standard container, transported anywhere in the continental U.S., and installed on-site in a single day. No crew of 20, no 6-month timeline. 1 day. And here's something that separates this from any RV or mobile home you've ever seen: the thermal performance. Traditional manufactured homes leak heat like a screen door in January. This construction method achieves an insulation rating that cuts heating and cooling costs by an estimated 40 to 55% compared to a standard wood frame home. For someone in Florida managing summer air conditioning on a fixed income, that number matters. The third principle is ecosystem integration. If you already own a Tesla vehicle or plan to, this is where things get interesting. The home functions as a vehicle charger. Wake up every morning to a fully charged car powered entirely by energy your roof collected the day before. Zero charging fees, zero range anxiety. But even if you don't own a Tesla car, the software layer alone is worth understanding. The home management system would connect to an app that monitors battery reserve levels in real time, adjusts energy routing based on your daily usage patterns, and can alert a family member or emergency contact if something unusual is detected, like no movement in the home for an extended period. For a man living alone at 70, that last feature isn't a gadget, that's a lifeline.
The number everyone keeps asking about: $9,990. That number is everywhere, and it's real in the sense that it represents an estimated base production cost for the core structure based on current manufacturing projections and comparable factory-built systems on the market today. But let's be honest about what $9,990 actually buys. Think of it in 3 tiers. Tier 1 is the shell: 4 walls, a roof, a door, and rough electrical conduits. Structurally sound, weatherproof, but not yet livable in the full sense. No solar system installed, no power wall, basic utility stubs, but no hookups. Tier 2 is livable. Add plumbing connections, functional electrical, proper climate control, and basic appliances. You're looking at an additional $8,000 to $12,000 depending on your location and what your county requires for occupancy permits. Tier 3 is what most retirees actually want: full energy independence. The complete solar tile system, the Powerwall 3 battery, water management integration, and the smart home layer. This is where the total package sits closer to $22,000 to $28,000. Still dramatically less than the median U.S. home price of $430,000. Still less than 2 years of rent for most retired Americans, but not $9,990. Here's the wallet translation that nobody gives you straight. If you're drawing $2,000 a month from Social Security, the complete package at $25,000, financed over 5 years at a low rate, is roughly $460 per month. Compare that to paying $1,500 to $1,800 in rent with nothing to show for it at the end of 5 years. The math shifts, but only if you understand what you're actually paying for. And there's one more number that changes everything: land. You can own the finest tiny home ever built. If you don't control the land it sits on, you don't control your life. Land lease programs, including what Tesla's early pilot programs reportedly tested, can start free for the first 24 months, but year 3 onward, you're looking at $300 to $500 per month in site fees. Over 10 years, that's up to $48,000 in lease payments. The house cost didn't break you. The lease did. The smartest scenario, and the one with the best long-term math, is placing this home on land you already own or land you purchase outright in a state with favorable property tax treatment. We'll get into the best and worst states for this in an upcoming video. If you want that breakdown delivered to you the day it drops, the subscribe button is right below this video.
The risks nobody wants to spell out. This is the section most channels skip because it slows the momentum and makes people feel less excited. But if you're 67 and living on a fixed income, false excitement is the enemy. Here's what you need to know. Zoning laws are a minefield. It is not enough to know that tiny homes are legal in your state. You need to know if they're legal in your specific county, your specific township, and in some cases, your specific neighborhood. An HOA covenant can override state law. A county minimum square footage ordinance can apply even when state law says nothing about it. Before you spend $1, you need a written confirmation from your local zoning administrator, not a website, not a YouTube video, not a salesperson. A written document from the government office. People have signed leases, paid deposits, and moved their belongings before finding out their county wouldn't issue an occupancy permit. Don't be that person. The solar and battery system has a maintenance cycle. Free energy is not free forever. Solar tiles need cleaning. Dust and debris reduce output by 20 to 30% in dry states like Nevada or Arizona. Powerwall batteries degrade over time. After 10 years of charge cycles, you may be looking at 70 to 80% of original capacity. At year 10 or 11, a full battery replacement is a real expense, potentially $8,000 to $12,000 depending on market pricing at the time. The honest way to think about it, budget $500 to $800 per year for maintenance and a replacement reserve. That's the real monthly cost of free energy. Still far less than a utility bill, but not zero. Smart home technology means data collection. Every camera, every motion sensor, every energy monitor in this home generates data. That data belongs to someone, and in most tech company agreements, that someone is the manufacturer. If privacy is a core value for you, read the terms of service before you sign. Ask specifically, can I disable data collection? Are there manual overrides for every automated system? Can I operate this home without an internet connection? A good home should serve you, not study you.
This home is not for everyone. 250 square feet is approximately the size of a large bedroom. If you have grandchildren who visit regularly, or if you need space for medical equipment, or if you're a man who spent his life in a 4-bedroom house and needs room to breathe, be honest with yourself before you fall in love with a price tag. At 75 or 80, will you still be comfortable in this space? Will your mobility allow you to manage it? These are not fun questions. They are the right questions. What living inside actually looks like. Let's stop talking about the concept in abstract terms and get specific about the daily experience, because that's what actually matters when you're deciding whether to make this your home for the next 20 years. Step through the door, and the first thing that hits you is not the size, it's the ceiling height. At 9 feet 2 inches, the interior doesn't feel like a shoebox. It feels like a well-designed apartment that simply doesn't have wasted square footage. Every surface has a purpose. The Murphy bed folds flat against the wall during the day in under 5 seconds, opening up the full living area. The kitchen counter expands on a track system when you're cooking, retracts when you're not. The storage runs deep, under the bed frame, inside the wall panels, behind the bathroom mirror. For a man who's spent decades accumulating things he doesn't use, that compression forces a useful question. What do I actually need to be comfortable? The answer, for most people who've lived in one of these spaces longer than a week, is less than they thought. The bathroom is where the aging-in-place engineering shows up most clearly. Zero threshold shower entry, no step to catch your foot on at 2 in the morning. Grab bars built into the wall structure, not screwed in as an afterthought. A heated floor tile that warms up before you step out of the shower. These are not luxury features. For a 72-year-old man living alone, these are the details that determine whether an independent life stays independent. The climate control system learns, not in a vague marketing sense, in a measurable one. Over the first 30 days, the system maps your daily routine, when you wake up, when you cook, when the living area gets used most. It pre-cools or preheats based on those patterns, so the home is always at your preferred temperature when you walk into a room without you touching a thermostat. For someone managing arthritis or circulation issues, consistent temperature isn't comfort, it's health management. One feature that rarely gets mentioned in the viral videos, the emergency detection layer. Floor sensors, not cameras, sensors, can detect if someone has been motionless on the ground for more than 45 seconds and automatically alert a designated contact or emergency services. For the 14 million Americans over 65 who live alone, that one feature alone changes the risk calculus of independent living.
Where this sits in 2026. As of right now, Tesla has not opened official orders for a residential tiny home product. There is no buy button. There is no dealer network. There have been prototype showcases and a limited pilot program reported in Nevada and California. Patent filings are real. Engineering documentation is real. The technology stack, solar tiles, Powerwall, smart home integration, is already in production for other Tesla products. What we're waiting for is an official announcement. And if history with Tesla products is any guide, when that announcement comes, it will move fast. This is exactly why this channel exists, to make sure you are prepared before the hype hits, not after. To make sure you understand the math, the risks, the state-by-state legal picture, and the contract terms before anyone asks you for money. The man at that kitchen table at the beginning of this video doesn't need a sales pitch. He needs someone to sit across from him and tell him the truth. That's what this channel is here to do.
Here's the bottom line on the Tesla tiny house. The concept is real. The technology behind it is real. The financial case for the right person in the right state on land they own is genuinely compelling. This is not vaporware. This is not a scam. This is an early-stage product that could represent a meaningful option for retired Americans who are tired of watching their housing costs devour everything they worked for. But it is not a miracle, and it is not for everyone. If you take one thing from this video, let it be this. The $9,990 number is the beginning of the conversation, not the end of it. The real cost, land, installation, permits, maintenance reserves, and the long-term lease or ownership picture is what determines whether this makes sense for your specific situation. Before you make any decision, ask yourself 5 questions. Do I already own land, or will I be leasing? What are the zoning laws in my specific county, not my state, my county? Can I comfortably live in 250 square feet for the next 15 to 20 years? Do I have $5,000 to $10,000 set aside as a maintenance reserve? And if this company changes its terms in year 3 or year 5, what is my exit plan? If you can answer all 5 clearly, you're ready to make an informed decision. If any of those questions makes you pause, that's exactly why this video exists. Now there is a lot more coming on this channel.
Next week, we're breaking down the 5 states where the Tesla tiny house makes the strongest financial case, and the 3 states where you should walk away no matter how attractive the price looks. We're going county by county, looking at zoning rules, property tax treatment, solar efficiency by region, and what real retirees in pilot programs are actually reporting.
After that, we're shifting to the second pillar of retirement independence, the Tesla Model 2, the $25,000 vehicle that may finally make it possible for people in their 70s to stay mobile without a $600 per month car payment or depending on family to drive them to doctor appointments. If you've been watching this channel and you're getting value from it, the most important thing you can do right now is hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Not because the numbers help us, because every new video in this series builds on the last one, and missing an episode in a series like this is like reading every other chapter of a book. You need the full picture to make the full decision. Leave a comment below with your state and your biggest concern: price, land, zoning, privacy, or long-term safety. I read every single one, and the topics you raise most are the topics that drive the next video. This channel doesn't exist to sell you something. It exists because you've spent your whole life working hard, doing the right thing, and you deserve straight answers, not headlines designed to get your hopes up before the fine print brings them back down. I'll see you in the next one.